Build a life worth living. 360 success. 360 success.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of 360 Success Coaching, where we help high-performing professionals win in faith, family, fitness, and finance. Because success without soul isn't success at all. Today we're going to talk about a problem that's more common than most people realize, especially in the healthcare world. If you've ever found yourself crushing it in business, but feeling crushed inside, or if your calendar's full, but your soul is empty, if you've ever thought, how can I keep this up? Then this episode is for you. Because we're diving into how to burn bright without burning out. So let's get into it. Here's what I see almost daily with the doctors and clinic owners that I coach. They've worked hard. They built something successful. On paper, they're winning. But deep down, they feel stuck, disconnected, and numb. I remember coaching a chiropractor once, and he opened up. Practice was just going crazy. Great market to be in at the right time. Great cash flow. Schedule was full. Every Monday morning, or every weekend actually, he would have an anxiety attack and a panic attack. And finally he had to go into counseling because he had success or goal overrun, and he hadn't built the personal life or the growth internally to even handle that success. See, he wasn't weak. He wasn't ungrateful. He wasn't mentally capable. You see, he wasn't a bad business person. He wasn't ungrateful. He just didn't have the capacity, hadn't developed the capacity to run the business and have it serve the life that he wanted. And he's not alone. You see, burnout is not just about being tired. It's about being misaligned between your purpose and your patterns. It shows up in subtle ways. You start resenting your own team or even your patients if you're a doctor. You check out when you get home. You feel overwhelmed and you start just scrolling on your phone. You stop dreaming. You stop building, and you just try to maintain. But as we've talked about before, we know that just maintaining is not really possible. And you feel guilty for even feeling that way. Because shouldn't you be grateful? Let me tell you something. You didn't get into this profession of serving people to feel trapped by your own success. See, burnout follows a very predictable cycle. We call it the burnout loop. And it starts with overwork. That leads to resentment, which leads to disconnection, which turns into numbing with Netflix, eating too much sugar, scrolling, or distraction. And then the avalanche of guilt. So what do? You double down and overwork again. That loop, it breaks down even the strongest people. But here's the truth. Burnout is not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that your systems are broken. Most doctors are still functioning like technicians, not business owners. They are the ones solving every problem. They're overcommitted, overavailable, overextended, and underneath it all, they're underfulfilled. But there is another way. To truly bulletproof your business and your life, you need to align it with 4 essential freedoms. These 4 freedoms are what we coach in 360 Success. So let's break them down. Number 1 is time freedom. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. Time freedom starts by owning your calendar, not reacting to it. As business owners, oftentimes we get stuck in this reactionary mode rather than scheduling out our week. Not that you don't have things that need attention right now, but how do you forecast what your week and your schedule should look like? And I'm not talking about just seeing patients or clients. I'm talking about setting time and blocking time for specific things that are going to help you build yourself and your business. So time blocks, say no more often to things that are just going to fill up your calendar that don't drive you forward. Build margin on purpose. Create some buffer. Look, even Jesus went off by himself to rest sometimes. If your schedule never has space for restoration, it's not sustainable. That's why everyone needs a Sabbath, at least one day out of the week to rest and recover and even reconnect. Number 2 in our freedom framework is purpose. Purpose freedom. You need a deeper reason to keep showing up. Purpose freedom is about reconnecting to your why. It's asking, is this version of me I'm becoming the one I actually want to be? Or is this just some reactionary version? And you have to be very intentional with that because the pressure will mold you and you want to be able to guide it and grow in a positive manner and not become resentful of the actual success and the process. But sometimes you've outgrown the role that you're playing. Sometimes you're still doing things that made sense 5 years ago, but they don't make sense anymore. That's when it's time to evolve. You don't abandon and walk away from the things. You evolve and then you realign. You don't retreat. Next thing is energy freedom. You know, this one, you preach it to patients all the time, but here's the question. Are you modeling it? Energy freedom means protecting the habits that refill your tank: sleep, nutrition, exercise. Yes, that's a big one. We are like, I'm so tired, I cannot even exercise. But part of the reason why you may be tired and burn out is you don't have that release of endorphins regularly and that stress release that you get from working out and pushing around heavy weight. Spending time with God, quiet time, and real connection with those that build you up and that refill you. This also means delegation, because every minute you spend doing something that someone else could do is a minute that you've stolen from your highest purpose. Let me repeat that. Every minute you spend doing something that someone else could do is a minute that you've stolen from your higher purpose. The next freedom is financial freedom. Let's get real. Most providers only focus on revenue, not freedom. But financial freedom isn't just about earning more. It's about building a system where your income supports your mission. And I don't mean just income that supports retirement. I mean the mission that you want your life to stand for, the legacy that you want to leave. That's what you're working toward. Ask yourself, what are my actual profit margins? What's my cost per hour of just life, maintaining life? Is my business buying me more peace or just paying for more pressure? So how do you start making these freedoms a reality? Here's a quick action plan. Audit your week. Track everything. Where is your time going? And what part of that is draining you? Then redesign your calendar. Build it around your top 3 priorities in life, not just patience. Let me say that again. Redesign your calendar and build it around your top 3 priorities in life, not just your patient treating hours. Create your freedom vision. Write down what success looks like in my faith, in my family, in my fitness, in my finances, so that you have a clear vision of what you're working towards. Number 4, outsource before you're ready. If someone else can do it 80% as well as you, delegate it. John Maxwell even says, look, if someone can do it half as good as you, but they're excited about it and they have upward momentum and growth potential, let them have it. Let them do it. Number 5, get in community. Don't go it alone. Coaching, masterminds, accountability, whatever it takes to get you connected to other people going through and pursuing what you're going through and what you're pursuing. This is what we do in 360 Success Coaching. We don't just help you grow your practice, we help you build a life worth living. So let me leave you with this. You're not crazy for feeling tired. You're not selfish for wanting more. And you're not weak for needing help. You are wise for recognizing that it's time to change. You're strong enough to build something better. You're called to lead, but not at the cost of your soul. So if you're ready to build a business that fuels your life, not drains it, reach out. Let's work together, because success should feel good. And you were made for more than just survival. Hey, thanks for listening to 360 Success Coaching. If this episode resonated with you and you're ready to take the next step toward burnout-proofing your business and reclaiming your life, I've created a resource just for you. It's called the 4 Freedoms Framework for Burnout-Proof Success. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but it's a simple PDF that kind of gives you an outline and some frameworks and walks you through the strategies that I've talked about today. When you get that, you're going to get a time audit worksheet to uncover the hidden drains in your schedule, a freedom vision template to realign your life and your practice or your business, a 7-day reset plan to reclaim energy, clarity, and control, and a delegation matrix of things that only you can do and things that you need to delegate to someone else, and a weekly planning grid based on the 4 freedoms of time, purpose, energy, and finances. So to grab those, look in the show notes. We will drop it in there. Don't just listen, act. Your future self, your family, they'll thank you for it. Until next time, go build a life worth living.